This is Rick Malone for the San Francisco Symphony. Sir Michael Tippett's path to becoming one of the most distinguished English composers of the 20th century was neither easy nor conventional. He didn't really start composing until after he entered the Royal College of Music in his teens. He was gay, a pacifist, and briefly a member of the English Communist Party, which did not endear him to the British musical establishment. But even then, it wasn't until he went through a period of Jungian analysis that he began to find his voice as a composer. As he put it, "I would know my shadow and my light, so shall I at last be whole." End quote. That was actually a motto that he came up with in connection with his first big success in 1944, an oratorio called A Child of Our Time, which was inspired by the 1938 assassination of a Nazi official by a Jewish dissident, the event that led to the horror of Kristallnacht. The oratorio is powerful and disturbing, but it gave Tippett the confidence in his own inspirations, which ranged from English Renaissance music to American blues, and in his literary abilities, since he'd written the libretto for the oratorio himself. Tippett went on to write 5 more successful stage works. The first was his opera, The Midsummer Marriage. Tippett began writing The Midsummer Marriage in 1946. It took him 6 years to finish and another 3 before its premiere. That premiere in 1955 was a qualified success. The plot was highly symbolic and confused almost everyone. The music, though, was almost universally praised. The Sunday Times observed that there is so much first-rate music in it that it is painful to contemplate the possibility of it not becoming a success, end quote. Tippett had seemed to anticipate this reaction. Even before the opera premiered, he'd arranged several of the instrumental set pieces into a suite that he called 4 Ritual Dances. The opera ties together plot strands from Mozart's The Magic Flute and Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream with a healthy dose of Jungian psychology. It centers on a young couple, Mark and Jennifer, who plan to elope. He is gentle and generous, artistic and in touch with nature, while she is the practical, domineering daughter of a businessman who opposes the relationship. She decides that she wants to postpone the wedding, and the plot follows them through a series of trials in which they search for the opposite and complementary sides of themselves and each other. Those trials involve a series of transformations portraying aspects of the balance of power and relationships. The first 3 ritual dances take place while the main characters are off stage on their own quests. The orchestra accompanies a pair of dancers who act out those quests through the symbolic perspective of animal transformations. There's a brief prelude, which leads directly to the first dance, which Tippett called The Earth in Autumn. The dancers change into a hound and a hare, and the chase begins. The hare gets away, and transforms again. The second dance is called The Waters in Winter. As an otter chases a fish, the slow, murky opening grows into a frantic cadenza for two clarinets. As again, the prey escapes the predator and the fish wriggles away. Or does it? This dance ends on a note of ambiguity. The third dance is called The Air in Spring. The hawk chases the bird. The bird has a broken wing, but still manages to stay ahead of the hawk. Until suddenly, the spell is broken. Before the dance can conclude. The fourth ritual dance is actually the climax of the opera, as the two young lovers reunite, having found their light and shadow. They celebrate their union with Fire in Summer, the voluntary human sacrifice. A giant lotus flower closes into a bud around them and bursts into flame. Symbolizing the confluence of divine and earthly love that blesses their marriage. And the suite ends with a postlude shimmering with the sounds of nature. It's been said that Sir Michael Tippett became a successful composer more through sheer effort than through an abundance of innate talent. But the music of these ritual dances from the Midsummer Marriage suggests that there might have been a little magic involved as well. This is Rick Malone for the San Francisco Symphony.